Hey guys, welcome back. So today I actually get to do something that I don't do frequently enough, and that is brew beer from a kit. I'm actually really excited because I don't have to measure anything. It all comes pre-measured. So my kit is from Great Fermentations. This is their Brain Eater Pale Ale. And these guys are from Indiana, so it's kind of like a Midwest, pale ale. It's all Citra hops, which honestly sound really good. It's probably gonna be super refreshing. We're doing a first word addition, which I never do, and a dry hop, which I also never do. So this is gonna be kind of fun, getting back to my IPA making basics, even though this is a pale ale, but honestly the distinction is pretty whatever. Anyway, one thing I love about just kits in general is when you're using all grain kits is they mill your grain for you. I actually did run this through my mill again because I use my screen and it's so fine that I prefer a higher efficiency over just the work of re-milling, especially with my new mill cart. It's so easy to just toss it in and set it and forget it. If you get a all grain kit and it's pre-milled, it's fine. Beer kits have to be universal, so they're milling to a degree that you would want if you did a sparge and you had like a normal mash tun. I still haven't legitimately used a normal mash tun. I'm like, you guys think I know everything. I know nothing. One thing I thought was really cool when I checked out this recipe is that they actually give you different gravities based on your efficiency. So we get to see what our mash efficiency is based on their little chart here. So this is gonna be like a 5.5 to 7.5% beer. It's probably gonna be more like a 7.5% beer. And I literally have a specific person in mind that I am brewing this for. I'm brewing it at the perfect time to be able to take to Washington and let my buddy Cindy drink it because Citra is her favorite hops, and truly more than anyone I've ever met loves Citra hops. So let's get to it. I already have my water in here. I heated it up in my bigger kettle because I'm actually brewing 2 beers at once, but this one is a secret. I'm just rebrewing my lime lager because I want to give it to my neighbors and we drank it all, so you know how that goes. But anyway, the Brain Eater is our focus today, and we're gonna go ahead and mash in. My screen is already in here. I have 7 gallons of water with a Camden tablet, like half a Camden tablet in here. And that just prevents all of our chlorine from making it into the beer and making it taste like a Band-Aid. So let's mash in. I honestly I was about to say, I don't even know what grain is in here. This is what grain's in here. I'm only gonna do US measurements on this one because I doubt you can order this unless you're in Canada. But I will put in the metric units in the description if you want to make this and you don't follow the US system, which I don't know why we follow the US system. I digress. All right, so there's 11 pounds of 2-row, 1 pound of Munich, half a pound of Crystal 60, and Crystal and caramel malts are kind of interchangeable, but all Crystal is caramel, but all caramel isn't Crystal. Crystal is actually roasted a different way. It's more of a UK style. Just FYI, but if you've got 60 L caramel and you are oh my god, I can't find Crystal, use caramel. Half a pound of melanoidin malt. I hope I pronounced that correctly. I have lost the ability to speak at all. I've never used this malt. I don't know what it is. Half a pound of carapils, and carapils gives you nice head. All right, so let's go into it. Kind of set myself up for failure keeping this guy so high. And I lied, my screen is not in there. Let's see if I can find my screen. I'm doing this really slowly because I don't want grain balls in here. We're not making matzo ball soup, we are making beer. That's a lot of grain, man. Okie dokie. So I have my mash temp set at 152. This is what's recommended. It'll give us a little higher fermentability. That's what I usually mash at anyway. And we're gonna set it for an hour and forget it for an hour, and I gotta brew the other beer while I'm waiting on this guy. But yeah, I'll see you guys back here when this is ready and we can see how much of a difference my double mill made. Okay, so our mash is done. And I'm gonna pull this screen, or at least attempt to, with my pulley. We'll see how that works. While we wait for this to drain, I'm gonna turn up my heat on the correct system so that we can start getting it to a boil. So we've got about 5 3/4 gallon in here still. I think it'll probably get up to about 6 if we let it drain out long enough. So I'm just gonna wait for that to happen. In the meantime though, I think we are safe to take our pre-boil gravity reading. I actually don't know what my pre-boil should be. We'll do it anyway, as a good practice measure. We're in for a big beer. We're at 15 bricks, about 1.06. So we're probably gonna end up in the like 1.069 to 1.7 range for the original gravity. And we'll probably get about a 7% beer. I'm just gonna call that good. All right, let's see if I can do this without making a huge mess and hurting myself. Oh no. Man, now I gotta restrain it. It's too low. Okay, so now we're gonna do our first wort hopping. And that just is basically you put hops in before you boil, right after your mash. And we're gonna do 1/2 ounce. So everything's pre-measured. Most are in just like single hop bags, but or single ounce hop bags, but this one's 1/2, and they actually separate it out for you. All right, so I'm just gonna throw it right into my hop screen. We have just under 6 gallons in there. All right, so we're gonna let this come to a boil, and then we'll do the rest of our hop additions and everything. Okay, we are boiling, so I'm going to set a timer for 45 minutes. Our second hop addition is at the 15-minute mark. Remember, our first hop addition was when we separated out the wort. So I will see you guys then. Okay, so this hop schedule is pretty rapid. So we're doing a 15-minute, 10-minute, 5-minute, and end addition of 1 ounce each of Citra. I'm also gonna throw in a wort flock tablet. It's just to kind of clarify it a bit while it's boiling. And we are throwing in our first boil hop of 1 ounce of Citra. It is the 15-minute mark, so we're just gonna keep this train moving. And as soon as I walk away from the camera, I'm gonna have to come back and re-hop. And I love this kind of hop schedule. Nah, I'm joking. That was the wrong beer. Actually, that's getting the same hops. Okay, so like legit, I don't know how this mistake worked out so well, but this beer actually needed a 15-minute hop addition of Citra right now of 1 ounce, and I accidentally did it. This is my lime lager. So at least I have more Citra. What are the odds of that working out in my favor? Oh my gosh. All right, let's try this again. Jeez Louise, Sarah, lock it up. All right, right into the hop screen. All right. So I need a stopwatch. One cool thing that I learned at Pilot Project, which makes obvious total sense, but it's the small things that never really stick in my brain. They use like a sheet where you write down when, speaking of which, I should actually just do this right now as I'm talking, because by the time I'm done talking, I can almost guarantee it'll be the next hop addiction. So it is 125, 130, 135, 140. Okay, anyway, now I can talk without being concerned about missing my time and not setting a timer. So what they do is they actually write down the times that you should be doing each step, which obviously that makes a ton of sense. And because I'm doing videoing, audio, before I do any steps, I have to set up a camera, turn on my microphone, whatnot. I don't even know if my microphone's on right now. I don't think it is. It is, but that's pretty much how it goes all day long. So having the times written down actually kind of keeps you more honest. So you can replicate your recipes next time instead of hoping that 5 minutes was actually 5 minutes and not like 15 minutes. All right, so I have 3 minutes left to talk. Nah, I'm joking. See you guys in 3 minutes. If I throw in the wrong amount of hops in this one, it's going to be an issue. So let's try to focus up here. We are at our 10-minute edition, and it is 1 ounce of Citra. Okay, edition number 4, which is our 5-minute. I'm gonna hook up my chiller now. It's actually really easy. Whoa! My water was on. So I made a quick release. Please ignore the water. And it just goes right into my thing, if I can figure it out, which I just did. So yeah, there you go. All right, so this is gonna be my last hop addition, and I'm gonna cut my heat. I'm trying to mix this these hops in this hop screen because they can just like sit on top and not really mix in, so then you're really just kind of wasting your hops. I've got quite the jumble of stuff over here. All right, so I've got this hooked up to my pump, hooked up to my chiller, hooked up to this, so it'll recirculate. I got waters going. I need to turn on my water. All right, so that's running. Now I'm gonna turn my pump on. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my pre-boil or original gravity. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. So we're looking like we pretty much stayed a little over 1.06. Let's see. It's 15 bricks. So what I was about to say was I was going to bleed out my lines because I had just clean water in my pump. But I was like, do we really need like a 7% beer, or can we suffice with like a 6.5% beer? So that's why I didn't clear it out. It'll just give me more volume so that I can actually fill my keg all the way with True Bloss. Yeah. And I usually brew so that I have like 5.5 gallons in my fermenter. So that's probably what I have. I don't have measurements on my fermenter that I'm going to use, so I'll just have to look in here once we're done. So our gravity is 1.063. So we're going to get about 6.3% beer-ish. Which, I mean, that's kind of like my sweet spot of beers. I really enjoy that amount of alcohol because it kind of, makes thicker beer, but it's not going to knock you on your ass. All right, so we are sitting at a cool 73 degrees. I'm going to ferment this under pressure. I'm just going to throw it in my laundry room because the garage is like super crazy. It's like 50 to 100 degrees in here at any given time. So my laundry room's like pretty much 70 to 75. So fermenting under pressure, even though I am using an English ale yeast, the South Ale 04, which is like one of my favorites. If you guys like, I really like keeping just some packets on hand if I get saucy and decide I want to brew a beer. So I'm going to transfer from this hose into here and then pitch my yeast, and then we're going to be all set. So this fermenter is all sanitized, but I'm just gonna sanitize this real quick. I'm gonna sanitize my yeast packet because you never know where anything has been. Pitch my yeast in the least insane way possible, attempting to anyway. Okay, so now I'm just gonna seal this up. If I can figure out where I put the lid. All right, my spinning valve's set at 15. I'm gonna throw it on. This is not the spinning valve I wanna use for this. So I will show you guys the dry hop. I'm actually gonna dry hop this when I transfer it. I'm probably gonna do it in about a week's time because I am fermenting under pressure, so things go a lot faster when you do that. So stay tuned for that, and yeah, I guess I don't need to sign off because I'm still talking to you forever. Goodbye! Hey guys, so I'm gonna show you a little trick for dry hopping in a keg. Hopefully it works out. Sometimes it doesn't. But basically, you tie this onto your dip tube and it holds it up as you drink. So like, if you don't drink it immediately, it's not gonna make your beer super, super, super bitter kind of thing. Yeah, who knows if it actually works. So this keg has been completely sanitized, and it actually has CO2 in it, but I'm going to repurge it just because I'm in here. And obviously re-sanitize it because my hands are in here. Alright. So I'm just kind of sanitizing where I touched because there are hops in there. So, and that's 3 ounces of the Citra. So now we can transfer right into there. This guy is under pressure, but I'm going to attach my CO2 to it because it transfers from this floating dip tube. And I'm going to use this. I just transferred another beer that has the exact same yeast in it, so I'm not concerned about it still having some yeast in it. Whatever. I'm also fining it with gelatin just because I'm kind of rushing this beer. All right, so I'm going to just let that transfer and pull my pressure release so it actually will transfer. And that's about it. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you want to try making this beer, you can order a kit from Great Fermentations. Just greatfermentations.com. I'll see you guys next time. Is my water not running? Because that is coming out friggin' hot. Oh, a hot tip when you're chilling, make sure the other side of the hose is open or it won't work.